Hello, this is the car program in an executable jar. I got this from my Eclipse where I just exported the program to here. So if we double click it to begin with, if there isn't already a car database file, it will create one, which it just did over here. Inside of this file, it's just an empty file. So if we run our program again, it should actually launch this time correctly, which it does. So let's go ahead and just enter a car to make sure that everything inputs alright. So let's just do an Audi R8. Enter in some values here. May or may not be too realistic. Alright, and let's make it a 2016, and also it goes all the way down to 1950 and up to 2020 for years. The color has a good bit of, or decent amount of colors, as well as multicolor and other. The makes also have an other option in case a really obscure make wants to be stored. So once we click confirm, all of these temporary variables will be stored into the text file. So in our table right now, I have to relaunch the program for it to show up in here. But when we relaunch our program, you'll be able to see all of the values that we just entered about our Audi. So I've already cataloged some of my dad's cars when I was back for Easter. So if I just open up this text file and paste in the values of the previous cars I've already stored and saved, when I run the program again, I'll have a lot more values to go through. So in this tab, this is just a table where all the info will be stored, and you can shift through it using this search bar up here, and you can look up any of the attributes. So let's say we want to look up any car that's a 2001. Well, all 2001 yeared cars now appear. If we want to do the make, let's say an Audi, for the Audi we made, that will appear. And this no color is just an example of one of the default attributes if the user forgets to input something, so that the program can still run. But it will have to be manually changed later, because I have not developed a good way to edit it inside the program itself. Another thing I forgot to mention is whenever you use these text fields to enter in data, you will need to press enter in order for it to be stored in a temporary variable as of now. This is just a text file that all the data will be written to. And like I said, whenever you launch this program on your computer, it will create a blank text file, and this is how it will be stored. And just stores all the attributes and uses spaces kind of as the delimiter. And it also automatically stores the date as well. And I don't use all of the date attributes in the actual table, but it is there just in case I did want to use it later. Right now, the only way to edit, like I was talking about earlier, is literally just to go into the text file and either delete a car if you don't need it anymore, or just to rewrite one of the attributes in the actual file. And I do plan on making a way for the user to be able to edit it inside of the program itself, because this is super tedious going into the actual text file and could mess up stuff if the user does some misinput. This is the code in Eclipse, just in case it won't open for you for some reason, but there is a lot of unused code here that I can definitely trim down when I was experimenting with making this program. But up here is just like some highlights. This is where it actually writes the information into the text file. This is just where a lot of the data is read from the text file. This is where the table will be set up, and also I have a lot of comments in here as well. This is where I created the sort, and then down here is just the first pop-up where you enter in the data, and it has a bunch of the values like the colors and the years and the makes. And then down here, this is where the input GUI was made, just like the labels, the text fields, J buttons and such. then when you click the confirm button, that's when it uses that file I showed you at the beginning that will actually write it to the text document. And then down here is just adding all of the attributes of the GUI to the actual like JFrame or panel. And then down here is just my main method, so it opens the file, it reads the file, closes the file, then it actually adds the table first and then the input pop out on top, because my dad would probably use that more than actually looking up data, so it'd be most convenient in that way. Also, this is just running the program from Eclipse, and this is the data we stored previously.